Golden Debate Show. Yeah, Golden Debate Show, fresh off the Golden Show. I was trying to load up some more stuff. I got caught. Tone was over here. It's actually a little bit less pre-stream than we're used to doing around here. We're on the eve of Christmas Eve. So, we're about to get it in. Tell them where to go.
EarlyMorningMob.com. This is the Golden Debate Show live with Carl Calzone. Golden Drones, what up? 5 and 2. Yes.
Yep. What's the overall score, though? I'll allow you to say that, though, as long as you say the overall score.
Yeah, we're still behind 3 games.
Yep. Y'all made it a good season, though. I'll admit that. So, our winter league's starting to look pretty good now. So, we're going to get it in. We're about to hit y'all off after the opening with our man, 2-Minute News from YouTube.
Golden Debate Show. Wow. Golden Debate Show. We're going to talk about this all about the Golden Debate Show. Yeah, the Golden Debate Show. Wow. Golden Debate Show. We're going to talk about this all about the Golden Debate Show. Wacky stick.
Golden. Yeah, sure will. That's the type of stuff that we like to do.
Merry Christmas.
Welcome to another episode of News in 2 Minutes, bringing you the news that you need to know every day. Let's begin. Thousands of anti-government protesters have gathered in Thailand ahead of a major rally that demonstrators hope will succeed in bringing down the current Thai government. Protesters within the nation have threatened to bring the city of Bangkok to its knees with massive gatherings, as authorities warn that violence may once again break out between those for and against the current ruling administration. China is confirming an outbreak of the H5N2 form of the avian flu after the virus, which has the ability to infect humans, laid waste to a poultry farm where it killed over 4,000 birds within days and caused the deaths of over 120,000 others to stop the spread of the disease. Experts are continuing to warn that they are seeing a global increase in virus activity.
Have y'all been on the naughty list or not? Have y'all liked, comment, share, and download it? Heard about him out that cam.
Agencies are reporting that they have uncovered a covert program run by the CIA to facilitate the killing of at least 2,000
I got a little clip I'm going to play at the end. That's the real meaning of Christmas.
Organization in Colombia. The report goes on to show that a number of technological advancements have been given to the Colombian government in their fight with the rebel group, including smart weapons that reportedly turn munitions into GPS-controlled firepower capable of striking targets in the dense Colombian jungle. As our trending analysis continues to show the development of widespread discontent and failing security measures in South Sudan, researchers are warning that heavier fighting is on the way following an attack on a number of U.S. CB-22 Ospreys that were tasked with evacuating American personnel from the area. Alliances between rebel factions are said to be shifting amid a growing sectarian and ethnic war in the country, as thousands of Sudanese residents are said to have evacuated into refugee camps or to the open land of the
It's worth learning about this amazing number 1.618 to understand how it's linked to almost everything in the universe of ours: DNA, plants, astronomy, human anatomy, etc. Thanks for the count. I know about this thing.
Isn't that Fibonacci? Is that what you call it?
No. This is it's a very interesting ratio of things. It's the golden ratio. Yeah, people use it in photography a lot. Mickey probably knows about it.
Yeah, and credit cards have the golden ratio.
Thanks for the countless hours of entertainment and kick-ass journalism.
I see nowadays I'm paranoid, hooded up, ducking out the way that the cameras point, disgraced by the tabloids, cause they say we don't have a choice, but who are they to tell us what's fact from fiction? A rise in gas emissions, see rash decisions, malnutrition and maddie pictures. They say the villains don't make a scrap of difference. The UN still dictate to the Palestinians. Tanks are driven and relieved of their ammunition. Bombs ain't bad for business. 17 years and now half of Iraq is missing. Do not be surprised by bombs in the pipeline. Watch when the time's right. You're gone bye-byes. Welcome to the zeitgeist. Modern day Einsteins. All seeing eyesight.
Merry Christmas.
From the microchips they plan to implant inside your wrist. And what really is a dominant nation. They call in the council of nations. Get used to the fact they got troops in Iraq, and they're gonna be there till they remove all the gas. The largest degrees have commander-in-chiefs and private militaries that are armed to the teeth. Men in white coats that shoot particle beams, annihilate any single target they please.
Christmas.
Ho, 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 ho.
Now, free your mind. I can't hear you, so there you go. Free your mind is what the whole theme of this event is about.
Christmas.
Or free our minds, because it includes mine as well. And free your mind doesn't mean believe what I say, or believe it because I say it, or take it as read. Free your mind just means opening the mind to all possibility, and then deciding what part of all possibility we choose to accept as reality. So what I'm not doing is standing up here today and saying, I've got all the answers, here you go, here's another belief system. It's information, it's what I've compiled, it's conclusions I've come to over the last 20 years of full-time research in about 45 countries, but it's information. It's not there to be believed just because I say it. And I think I can sum it up really by what this man said. Wilhelm Reich, who was a philosopher and inventor and what have you, and he said this: am I a spaceman? Do I belong to a new race on Earth bred by men from outer space in embraces with Earth women? I request my right and privilege.
It's supposed to be the season of goodwill, isn't it? But a local authority in the UK has not exactly been getting into this spirit. In fact, as RT's Sarah Firth has been finding out, there are claims it's acting like the Grinch.
Well, it's the festive season, but tenants in one part of London, and the talk's been not so much about who's coming down your chimney, but about what's come through your letterbox. Hammersmith and Fulham Council have sent this message out to 17,000 homes, warning people to pay their rent and asking them not to overindulge. Now, the council have defended their actions, saying that there's more than 46% of their tenants in rent arrears, and that it's a time of year when people will be spending lots, and this is a straightforward message as part of a hard-hitting campaign. But with a cost of living crisis in the headlines in Britain at the moment, and others have branded this message disgusting, well, we've been talking to some of the people who live in this part of London to find out what they think.
I think it's horrible, to be honest. My gut reaction is horrible. I mean, if you're going to... It looks like people are caught between a rock and a hard place. You know, they want to enjoy Christmas and pay your rent. Ho, ho, ho! Not impressed with it.
People should obviously be paying their rent, and it's pretty explicit. It says if you're having trouble, presumably it says where you can call if you... No, I think that's actually quite a good message, actually.
No, but it's Christmas. You're supposed to feel, you know, jolly. I mean, pay your rent, really. Maybe Boxing Day.
You better be a bit, like, clever with your money. You're going to have a bit of fun for, like, a day or two, and then you're just going to have a whole year of it.
You're so heartless.
No, it was you.
No, I don't think so. I think that they should get rid of those choices.
Sarah Firth, RT.
You're a bad banana with a greasy black peel. You're a monster, Mr. Grinch. Your heart's an empty hole. Your brain is full of spiders. You've got garlic in your soul, Mr. Grinch. I wouldn't touch you with a 39.5-foot pole. You're a vile one, Mr. Grinch.
Christmas.
You have termites in your smile. You have all the tender sweetness of a seasick crocodile, Mr. Grinch. Given the choice between the two of you, I'd take the seasick crocodile. You're a foul one, Mr. Grinch. You're a nasty, wasty skunk.
you details about that other mass shooting, other mass shooting, other mass shooting, the terrorist attack on the shopping mall in Kenya. We are told tonight that the terrorists had a secret place inside the mall for months where they could plan their attack. ABC's Alex Marquardt brings us the late-breaking details.
Hey, YouTube. Hey, Diane. What's happening? Wow, you sound better without your voice. I could actually put up with you for Christmas. That's about it. Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Keywords. Other mass shootings. Other mass shootings. Other mass shootings. That is because they want you to be used to mass shootings, and you are. Because they've been doing this for a long time, and you do not question it, do you? You don't go scratching your head and go, well, we're getting a lot of mass shootings. I wonder why. Because it's contrived. It's fake. Okay? It's propaganda. They control the way you look, watch, and feel. Okay?
Merry Christmas. Now there's one of those catacomb. There's other guys that they look like, I don't know.
By
this
their
don't make no sense to everybody.
Actions. And the sooner the world wakes up to that, the better. Okay? They want you to get used to the key words, terrorist attack, you know? And then she mentioned the secret room, the secret. Wow, the secret room.
Christmas. There's other guys that they look like, I don't know. This don't make no sense to everybody.
Months.
Abnormally warm. We could have balled.
Okay, she said that they're planning for 3 months. They rented a room. Don't exist.
Especially with the heart.
Tell me to go.
90 days. You can have them on camera entering and leaving the building.
President Obama commuted the sentences of 8 convicted drug offenders today. In a written statement, he said their prison terms were unduly long under a law that treated crack cocaine more harshly than powder cocaine. A more recent law has reduced the disparity. Before today, the president commuted just 1 sentence in his 5 years in office.
As awesome as they were, the only thing they could
sea ice could be melted by covering it with black soot to increase the absorption of
scientist who
sunlight.
made some documentaries.
Dr. Stephen Schneider is a climatologist from the National Center for Atmospheric Research.
How he feels about global warming, and then I'm going to play
do these things?
2010.
Yes, but will
then he
they make
mysteriously
things
died
better?
in 2011.
I'm not sure. We can't predict with any certainty what's happening to our own climatic future. How can we come along and intervene then in that ignorance? You could melt the ice caps. What would that do to the coastal cities? The cure could be worse than disease. Would that be better or worse than the risk of an ice age?
If the polar ice melted completely, sea level would rise 180 feet. New Orleans, San Francisco, and New York would be submerged. Clearly, one of the future's great problems will be to survive the next ice age.
Don't be poor in a hot country. Don't live in Hurricane Alley. Watch out about being on the coasts or in the Arctic. It's a bad idea to be up on high mountains with your glaciers melting and losing your water supply. And if you're in a Mediterranean climate, you're going to have a fire season in the summer. It's really going to be a problem.
So he changed it up a little bit.
I'll tell you about the 12 days
just a little bit. And he hyped it up actually. Here's
Afro
Man, the 12 L's of Christmas. So you didn't hear
the
this.
SWAT team in a pantry. On the second day of Christmas,
like I'm sharing download.
2 black guys and the SWAT team in a pantry. On the 3rd day of Christmas, the police sent to me 3 bench warrants, 2 black guys and the SWAT team in a pantry. The police sent to me 4 cops calling all cars, 3 bench warrants, 2 black guys, and a SWAT team in a pantry. Down there's one of those catacombs. The police sent to me 5 years in the pit. 4 cops calling all cars, 3 bench warrants, 2 black guys, and the SWAT team in a pantry. On the 6th day of Christmas, the police sent to me 6 cops pepper spraying, 5 years in the pit. 4 cops, 2 black guys, and the SWAT team in a pantry. On the 7th day of Christmas, the police sent to me 6 Navy SEALs swimming, 6 pepper 5 years in the
The Golden Show. It's golden. The Golden Show. It's golden.
Happy holiday. Happy holiday. While the merry bells keep ringing, may your every wish come true. Happy holiday. Happy holiday.
Little nephew, your son yesterday, he was singing me the song title. He was like, Happy Holidays, and that's made me think of the song.
Happy holidays to you.
Yeah, they learned that shit quick. So we'll get into
burden down with trouble, lift your nerve, stop wearing things, pack your load down the road, come to holiday.
The Golden Show. It's golden.
The documents are said to show over 1,000 names of targets from 60 countries, including Israel's Prime Minister. They're also said to be terrorists, but more surprisingly, also on the list are a senior member of the European Union, Vice President of the Commission, Joachim Almunia, who deals with economic competition issues. Humanitarian organisations like the UN's children's charity, UNICEF, and French medical charity, Médecins du Monde. Companies like French oil giant Total, and German government buildings in Berlin and overseas. We'd already heard about the Americans targeting German Chancellor Angela Merkel's phone. That caused outrage. But the allegation that Britain may also have been spying on allies may cause further problems. A European Commission spokesperson said they would raise the allegations with the US and UK and said if true, they were...
After South Korean President Park Geun-hye made the offer as a humanitarian gesture during her visit to China in June. Still, on the Korean Peninsula, former NBA star Dennis Rodman has held tryouts for a DPRK team to face a dozen NBA veterans in an exhibition game to mark the birthday of Kim Jong-un, the DPRK's top leader.
A really interesting article from the Daily Mail about a an American ecologist, Dr. Ellis Silver, who is saying that humans don't come from Earth. And he says the evidence of this are some physiological features that explain that humans clearly were dropped off on this planet from some other planet. He says this includes the fact that humans suffer from bad backs, because he says we evolved in a planet with lower gravity, to getting easily sunburned, to having difficulties giving birth, and that women really wouldn't die from giving birth if it weren't for being from another planet. I find this really interesting, Lewis, because while I don't believe it, the arguments he makes are specifically and acutely discreditable. In other words, the bad backs thing is a cultural and regionalized thing. I've read quite a bit, actually, about this. If you go to many countries in Africa, for example, as people age there, they don't have the back problems that Americans have, which are in great part due to stress and lifestyle, and in great part due to sitting a lot, bad diets, obesity, etc. So the backs thing doesn't even apply to all humans, so that's out. The sunburn thing, we've seen that different humans that evolve generation after generation in different parts of the world develop different levels of resistance to the sun, or develop skin that can absorb more sunlight depending on where you are. And while certainly not proof of anything, it really shows that humans do seem able to adapt to life, to sunlight on Earth in a variety of areas. And then number 3, that sometimes women die during childbirth. This happens in many species. Does not prove that
it is a time of magic, pageantry, warmth, generosity, and love.
Across the board.
For many of us, our fondest childhood memories revolve around the traditions of Christmas. It is a time that many around the world celebrate as the birth of Jesus Christ, the Savior and Messiah of mankind. In recent years, however, the spiritual holiday has become a time of mass marketing and crass commercialism. Incredibly, many businesses derive more than half their yearly income during this period. The process of gift-giving, once thought to have come from the story of the wise men who offered gifts to the newborn Christ, has evolved into the buying frenzy we see today during the month of December. But what about the other Christmas traditions? Have you ever wondered why we decorate the Christmas tree? Why we light the Yule log?
Or we
why
like
we
the
hang the
Christmas tree and
mistletoe?
the log.
In this hour, you will discover the true origins of Christmas. You may be surprised or even shocked to learn the source of your favorite holiday traditions. Chances are, you'll never look at
Merry Christmas. There's other guys, but they look like, I don't know. This don't make no sense, everybody.
For the Most High God, and they travel the universe, they travel the galaxies,
in the northern hemisphere
and they
during
are
late
in
December,
physical
the
ships.
days are at their shortest lengths, and the nights are at their longest. For those of the pagan world, this has always been the greatest time of the year to celebrate and practice the works of darkness.
You guys roll yourself
The pagan calendar identifies this period as the winter solstice.
That's the type of stuff that
It was
we like.
during the pre-Christian midwinter pagan celebrations of Scandinavia's Norsemen where today's Christmas traditions began. As a means of honoring the pagan sex and fertility god Yule, a 12-day celebration during the month of December was inaugurated. A large single log considered to be a phallic idol was lit on fire and kept burning for 12 days. Animal or human sacrifices were offered in the fire on each of those days. Wild, delirious reveling accompanied the daily sacrifices as drunken participants defiantly strove to make contact with spirits. 1,000 miles away in pre-Christian Rome, celebrants were paying homage to their own gods during the winter solstice. Witchcraft traditions hold that a number of pagan gods were given birth during this period, including Dionysus, Attis, and Baal, chief male god of fertility and licentiousness. Another pagan god from Persia, identified as Mithra, was said to have been born specifically on December 25th. Mithra was the god of the unconquerable sun, the god of the light between heaven and earth, worshipped at that time by an influential Roman cult. His birth symbolized an end to the long nights and a return to the dominance of the sun. During the month-long winter solstice celebration, courts in Rome were closed. Any and all crimes were allowed. Homosexuality, cross-dressing, and uncontrolled debauchery reigned supreme. Rome's order was turned upside down. Even children were allowed to join in the drunken orgies as part of the Juvenalia celebration. By 270 AD, the Roman Emperor Aurelian made this official, setting aside a 7-day period from December the 17th through the 24th, culminating in an exchange of gifts on December the 25th to celebrate the birth of the sun god. This Roman orgy to end all orgies later became known as Saturnalia, in honor of the god Saturn, the god of excess. Roman soldiers invading Britain brought with them their pagan orgiastic traditions.
I know a lot of people want to send blankets or water.
Saturnalia
Just
became
send your
known as
cash.
the festival of fools reigned over by the Lord of Misrule. By the 4th century, the influential government-sanctioned Church of Rome, unable to outlaw the growing number of pagan practices, chose instead to adopt them into their so-called official Christianity. The Church believed this would attract more pagans to their fold. Up until this time, the birthday of Jesus Christ, the Jewish Messiah, had not been celebrated at all. Ignoring scriptures, however, indicating that the birth...
Yo, this is King Midas, and you're listening to The Golden Show. It's King Midas certified.
And made Jesus' birthday coincide with the pagan god Mithra. The birth date of the sun god had now become the birth date of the Son of God. It was hoped that the pagan celebrations of Saturnalia would merge into this new legally sanctioned form of Christianity. The Church's practice of changing the dates of Christian events to coincide with pagan festivals continued, and by the 7th century, Pope Gregory I had ordered Augustine of Canterbury to incorporate any and all pagan practices and customs into the expanding Roman Catholic Church. During the Middle Ages, the debased Mardi Gras atmosphere of what was now known as Christ's Mass had reached a fevered pitch. Common practices included open sex in the streets, rioting, murder, and a number of pagan druidic Halloween rituals. This blood-drenched celebration got so out of hand that by 1652, following the execution of King Charles I, Christ's Mass was finally outlawed in England. A religious reform movement began sweeping the country, led by Puritan Oliver Cromwell. The Puritans took the biblical mandate seriously, which commanded that Christianity remain pure and separate from paganism. Despite their noble efforts, the celebration simply went underground, and by 1656, after only 4 short years under the ban, the public's demand for the legalization of Christ's Mass had become insurmountable. The appointment of Charles II to the throne restored England's monarchy, and with it the celebration of Christ's Mass. The Puritans had lost
When the first settlers came from England, they were, for the most part, Puritans. They came here for religious freedom. They came here to be free to worship without a hierarchy and without corruption.
There's other guys that it looks like, I don't know.
When they came,
this don't make no sense to everybody.
They came with the clear knowledge of the danger of these pagan practices that had become so dear to the hearts of their ancestors.
Following England's lead in 1659, the colonies of America had likewise outlawed Christmas. For 200 years, the clergy in New England battled to keep the riotous celebrations honoring the pagan god Saturn from infiltrating the New World.
Christmas.
The Reverend Cotton Mather had warned in a Christmas Day sermon in 1712, "Can you, in your conscience, think that your holy Savior is honored by hard
threat to untold numbers of citizens and the economic crisis which is even now developing. This radio station will remain on the air day and night. This station and hundreds of other radio and TV stations throughout this part of the country are fully
New York forced to institute a professional police force for the first time in order to control the savagery.
Christmas was not widely celebrated. In many places, Christmas celebrations were actually outlawed. And this was because of the attitude of many of the churches, who regarded it as primarily as a pagan celebration and as a reproach.
Christmas. By the 20th century, American churches were the last remaining holdouts in the war against the validation of Christmas. However, they too finally succumbed as a result of the efforts of the American Sunday School Society, who began advocating Christmas programs for children as a method of filling the pews. The Society argued that children could be taught about the birth of Christ through the realism of festivity. They also offered candy and treats for the children as a means of enticing families into accepting the holiday, despite its notorious history and blatantly pagan roots. The successful technique of bribing children with candy would later be used on an effort to promote the pagan rituals of Halloween. However, it was the work of England's most popular writer, Charles Dickens, whose ghostly 1843 book, A Christmas Carol, cemented the Christmas holiday in the hearts of Americans forever.
We can't read, y'all.
Dickens' well-loved story made the pagan Christmas feast,
we keep you
shining
golden, everybody.
glittering shops,
Hey,
and
yo,
family
we can't
meals
read.
irresistible to those wanting to experience the holiday. Coming to America in 1867 to promote his work, Charles Dickens packed destroyed any final attempt to stop the evolution of Christmas. By 1875, the Puritans had
Merry Christmas.
and by 1890,
There's other guys that they look like, I don't know. This don't make no sense to everybody. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Now and then one of those aircraft carriers. They look like, I don't know.